All right. So let's dive into something a little different this time. It's something that's got a lot of us dreaming of sunshine and beaches.
That's right.
Investing in Phuket real estate. You've sent over a pretty impressive collection of research here. Articles, website, excerpts, even some market forecasts. Seems like you're serious about making this Phuket dream a reality.
Yeah, it does seem like you're going beyond just browsing vacation rentals this time. You've got material here on market trends, financing, even the legal complexities. Smart move.
So you're not just after a tan. You're after a solid investment. Let's see what your research reveals about the Phuket property market and what it takes to make a smart move. First things first, why Phuket? What makes it stand out not just as a vacation spot, but as an investment destination?
Well, the articles paint a pretty picture, but let's go beyond the turquoise water and white sand beaches. Phuket's got a lot working in its favor. A well-established tourism industry, a growing economy, and a variety of properties, from condos to those stunning villas we've all seen online.
But we're not here to just browse dream homes, right? We're here to figure out if Phuket makes sense as an investment.
Exactly. And your research gets into that, looking at market trends and actual numbers. Did you see that condo prices in Phuket have gone up 10% year on year? That actually puts it ahead of some other popular Southeast Asian markets.
Okay, so some real data to back up the hype. Now, I know a lot of people wonder about financing, especially for foreigners. Can you even get a mortgage in Phuket?
The good news is, yes, you can. But your research is right to point out it's not a walk in the park. Eligibility for foreigners is tough work, permits income verification, the whole 9 yards. And you'll likely be looking at higher interest rates and shorter loan terms compared to local buyers.
Yeah, that's a hurdle for sure. But your research did mention some alternative routes, right? Things like joint ventures, maybe.
You're catching on. Partnering with a local investor is a common strategy. Not only can it help you navigate the legal maze, it can make you a more attractive borrower to lenders.
Makes sense. Strengthen numbers, especially in a foreign market. What other alternatives did you uncover?
Developer financing came up a few times. Some developers offer in-house financing packages, which might be more flexible than traditional banks. But as with any development project, due diligence is key. You want to be sure you're dealing with a reputable company with a solid track record.
So not just any shiny brochure will do.
Got it.
And were there any other options that stood out?
Lease to own popped up as well. It's kind of a try before you buy approach. You lease the property with the option to purchase it later. Might be a good way to test the waters, especially if you're not ready to fully commit just yet.
Okay, so we've got a sense of the market, the financing landscape. But let's get specific. What kinds of mortgages are actually on the table for someone buying property in Phuket?
Your research mentions two main categories: Thai baht mortgages and foreign currency mortgages. Each has its pros and cons depending on your situation.
Let's break those down. Thai baht mortgages, what do those entail?
Pretty straightforward. The loan is in Thai baht, so your repayments are in local currency. Makes sense if you're earning income in baht. Or plan to settle down in Phuket long term. It can minimize your exposure to currency fluctuations, which is a big plus.
So less risk if the baht takes a dip. What about foreign currency mortgages? When do those make sense?
They can be attractive for people who want to manage their finances in their home currency. It can help mitigate some exchange rate risk. But remember, those markets can be unpredictable. It's a trade-off. And your research does a good job of highlighting that.
It's all about weighing the risks and rewards. Now, speaking of specifics, I noticed your research mentions some key players in the Phuket mortgage game. Want to walk us through the lender landscape?
Sure. You've got your big established banks like Bangkok Bank and Kasikorn Bank. They've got the experience. But they also tend to have those higher interest rates for foreign buyers that we talked about. Then there's UOB. They seem a bit more expat friendly. And some of their products even factor in potential rental income from short-term loans.
That's interesting. So if our listeners thinking about the Airbnb route, UOB might be worth a closer look. Any other lenders stand out?
One more, ICBC, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. They have a specific product tailored for buyers from Hong Kong, China, or Macau. Might be a competitive option if you fall into that category.
Okay, so we've got the lay of the land. Phuket's got the appeal. The market's showing potential. And financing, while not a breeze, is doable. But we can't gloss over the legal side of things.
Absolutely. And your research is very clear on this. Understanding Thai property law is non-negotiable. It's a different ballgame than some other countries. And there are specific rules for foreign buyers.
So what are the absolute must-knows for someone coming in from overseas?
The biggie is this. Foreigners can own condos outright, but owning land is much more restricted. Leasehold is the typical route for land. And even with condos, you're limited to owning 49% of the building's total area.
That's a key detail. So even if you're envisioning that sprawling villa estate, you're probably looking at a leasehold situation.
Most likely, yes. And this is where I want to emphasize what your research points out. Getting legal counsel is not optional. It's an investment in peace of mind. Having an expert guide you through the process review contracts, ensure clear property titles, it's invaluable.
I second that. You don't want to stumble into any legal pitfalls, especially in a foreign market. Better to have a pro on your side.
Couldn't agree more. It's worth every penny to ensure everything is above board.
All right, so we've got Phuket's allure, the financing possibilities, and the legal must-knows. But let's be realistic. No investment is risk-free. What are some of the potential downsides highlighted in your research?
Well, currency fluctuations are a major one. The exchange rate between your home currency and the Thai baht can impact your investment significantly. You've got to factor that into your calculations, both when you're buying and if you decide to sell down the line.
That's a crucial point. What other risks should we be aware of?
We talked about the higher interest rates and shorter loan terms for foreigners. Those are definitely factors that can affect your returns. And while Phuket's market is looking good now, no market is immune to downturns.
So it's all about weighing the potential rewards against those inherent risks.
Exactly. And that decision ultimately comes down to your individual risk tolerance and your investment goals. What are you comfortable with? What level of risk aligns with your overall financial strategy?
Okay, so we've covered the good, the bad, and the legally complex. Let's say you've weighed the risks. You're comfortable with the legal landscape, and you're ready to take the plunge. What strategies did your research uncover for maximizing your return on a Phuket property investment?
Well, professional property management came up repeatedly as a game changer. Having someone handle everything from finding tenants to dealing with maintenance can free up your time and potentially boost your rental income.
It's like having a trusted partner on the ground taking care of the day-to-day details, so you don't have to...
Exactly. And then there's the marketing side. Targeting the right tenants or vacationers is key. Your research emphasizes the importance of online platforms and social media to reach a wider audience.
Makes sense. In today's world, a strong online presence is essential, especially in a competitive market like Phuket's. Any other strategies we can add to our toolkit for maximizing returns?
Offering flexible rental options, both short-term and long-term, came up as a smart move. It allows you to cater to different market segments and potentially increase your occupancy rates.
All right, so we're thinking strategically now. From beachfront daydreams to crunching numbers and maximizing returns, we've covered a lot of ground here. But don't worry, we're not done yet. There's more to uncover in your research.
So we've been digging into the nuts and bolts of the Phuket property market. But there's another layer I think we need to explore, and that's the lifestyle factor.
Right, because investing in Phuket, it's about more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about experiencing a different way of life, whether for yourself or for the people you might be renting to.
Exactly. And this is where your personal preferences come into play. And your target market, too, if you're thinking about rentals. Are you picturing bustling beaches with vibrant nightlife? Or secluded coves with a more laid-back vibe?
It's about finding the right fit, not just any property. Your research did touch on the diversity of Phuket, right? Different areas with distinct personalities.
Definitely. You've got your high-energy hubs like Patong, known for its nightlife and entertainment. Then you've got places like Rawai. They have a more traditional Thai-feel, quieter beaches, maybe appealing to a different crowd.
It seems like choosing the right location is just as important as choosing the right property.
Absolutely. And I think this is where boots-on-the-ground research is crucial. Reading articles is one thing, but actually experiencing a place, walking the streets, getting a feel for the atmosphere, that's irreplaceable.
So do your homework, crunch the numbers, but also trust your gut. Find a place that resonates with you, that fits the vision you have for your Phuket investment.
Couldn't agree more. It's about finding that connection, that sense of place. Now, while we're letting our imaginations run a little wild here, we can't forget about the flip side of the coin, risk.
Right back down to earth for a moment. Your research didn't shy away from the potential challenges.
It didn't. Currency fluctuations are a big one, as we've discussed. Even though Phuket's market is performing well now, no market is immune to dips and swings.
So how can our listener approach those risks in a smart way? What advice did you find in the materials?
Thorough research is paramount. Understanding the market trends, not just relying on hype, consulting with reputable agents, getting legal advice, those are must-dos, and having a solid financial plan that can weather potential storms. That's crucial.
So it's about due diligence, preparation, and having a bit of a buffer just in case.
Exactly. And also having realistic expectations. No investment is a guaranteed win. There will be ups and downs. But if you've done your homework, if you're passionate about Phuket, and if you're in it for the long haul, the potential rewards could be significant.
It's a calculated risk, like any investment. But with the right approach, you can mitigate those risks. Now, I did notice something in the research that I wanted to get your take on. It's about a specific requirement for foreigners buying property in Thailand.
Oh, interesting. What caught your eye?
It's about transferring funds. Apparently, when foreigners buy property in Thailand, the money has to be transferred from overseas. And there's this form, an FETF, that needs to be filed with the bank.
Ah, yes, the foreign exchange transaction form. A bit of a bureaucratic step, but an important one. It's essentially proof that the funds for the purchase came from outside Thailand, which is a requirement for foreign buyers.
So it's not just about having the money, it's about proving where it came from.
Exactly. But this is where having a good legal advisor is key. They'll walk you through the process, ensure the paperwork is correct, and make sure the transfer goes smoothly.
One more detail to keep in mind, but it sounds like a manageable step with the right guidance. It really underscores the importance of having a solid team on your side throughout this process.
I completely agree. From legal advisors to property managers, having trusted experts in your corner can make all the difference. Now we've covered a lot of ground. From the allure of Phuket to the nitty-gritty of legal requirements and risk assessment.
We've certainly given our listener a lot to think about, but there's still more to uncover. We'll be back with our final thoughts and some key takeaways to help you navigate this exciting investment journey. All right, so welcome back to the deep dive. We've been on quite a journey through the Phuket property market, exploring everything from the island's allure to the nitty-gritty of financing and legal considerations.
Yeah, we've gone from dreaming of beachfront living to crunching numbers and analyzing risk. It's been a thorough exploration.
And hopefully our listeners feeling more informed and empowered to make a smart decision about whether Phuket is the right investment for them.
That's the goal, to provide not just the exciting visuals, but the practical knowledge you need to navigate this market.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some key takeaways you'd like to leave our listener with?
Well, I think the most important takeaway is the need for balance, you know? Embrace the excitement of that Phuket dream, but approach it with a healthy dose of realism and due diligence.
So don't just jump in head first. Do your homework, get your financials in order, and assemble a team of trusted advisors.
Exactly. This isn't a quick flip, it's a journey. Take your time. Research different areas, connect with reputable agents and legal professionals, and really make sure Phuket aligns with your long-term vision.
It's not just about owning a property, it's about finding a place that fits your lifestyle and your investment goals.
Well said. And I think that brings us to a final, crucial question that only you, the listener, can answer.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the question?
What does owning a piece of paradise mean to you? What kind of experience do you want to create in Phuket?
That's a powerful question. It goes beyond the financials and the logistics. It gets to the heart of why we're drawn to places like Phuket in the first place.
It's about dreams and aspirations. And while we've explored the practicalities, remember that this investment is ultimately about creating something meaningful.
So as you continue your research and explore the possibilities, let that question be your guide. Because with careful planning, a bit of adventure, and a whole lot of heart, that Phuket dream might be closer than you think.
And on that note, we'll say goodbye from the deep dive. Happy researching. And may your journey be filled with sunshine and success.